Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Nate.
If you like the At Odds show,
And we know you do.
why not order your very own At Odds t-shirt sizes small to 6XL in a cool black color?
So support our show. Check out the great prices at chugdug.com or head over to our website, atoddshow.com, and click the link.
And unlike listening to our show, you won't be disappointed.
Hello, you're listening to the At Odds show with Nate and Brian.
Okay, so...
You know, I used to date her.
It was nice. That's Regina, wasn't it? No?
No.
Jeffrey?
It was Jeffrey.
Jeffrey?
It was nice. All right, so it was short-lived, but it was nice. What was the first human organ to be successfully transplanted in 1956?
We had some guesses.
Yes.
I guess skin. You said that wasn't right. And then we had liver, pancreas,
All
heart,
good guesses.
lung, anus,
Uranus.
kidney.
Ah, we have a right answer.
Wow, which one?
It was the kidney.
Oh, I thought it was anus.
Dr. Richard Lawler performed the transplant in Chicago. His patient, Ruth Tucker, lived for 5 more years with her new kidney.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Good for her.
Yeah. And that's when, rejection, drugs, and all that stuff would have been in their infancy.
Has that guy done that head transplant yet? I want to see that.
No, it's supposed to be coming up. I don't know.
It's not going to happen.
It's supposed to be, 36 hours or something to do it. It's long.
Yeah.
laborious.
Well, I mean,
hundreds of people. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but it'll be interesting. All right, on this day, this is interesting. On this day in 1796, an essay appears in the Gazette of the United States in which a writer mysteriously named Phocion slyly attacks president candidate Thomas Jefferson. Now, Phocion turned out to be Alexander Hamilton, who had a little, problem with Jefferson's politics. Basically said that he might have been, fooling around with one of his slaves. So that came out. There was 25 essays that he'd wrote lambasting Jefferson. But 4 years earlier, another publisher, Callender, had a newspaper, and it was funded by Jefferson and his supporters. They published a report about Hamilton's adulterous affair with one of his colleagues' wife, which Hamilton later confessed to. That was 4 years before. So they probably referring to Sally Hemings' famous case. The Jefferson Foundation came out with DNA tests and other documents saying that probably Sally Hemings' son, Easton, were his child.
whose? Jefferson's?
Jefferson's.
Wow.
Now, Sally Hemings, I didn't realize she was half white, and it was thought that she and Jefferson's wife were half sisters, meaning that Martha's dad had an affair with a black slave, had a child, Sally Heming, and it was Martha's dad who did that. So that's keeping it in the family.
Yeah, no kidding.
But they said that John, who was Sally's first son, bore a striking resemblance to Thomas Jefferson. Okay, that's this day in history.
I will tell you, you think Alexander Hamilton, you think, he was one of those guys at the beginning, put him up on a pedestal. He actually has a huge piece of responsibility in the fact that we have such a large federal government today.
Yeah.
He played a huge role
way
back
Federal
then,
Reserve.
getting that ball rolling to get us to the huge central government that we have.
He liked central banks, too, didn't he? He was in favor of a centralized
he was
bank.
in favor of a centralized army. He was in favor of a lot of federal control.
Wasn't he killed by some guy?
Mr. Burr?
Aaron Burr.
Because he was stupid and and agreed to duel him, but wouldn't back down, but didn't want to shoot him, and trusted that Aaron Burr wouldn't shoot back.
Fatally shoot.
And, that didn't happen.
He wasted his shot.
Yeah. And he didn't live too long after that.
Burr didn't, no.
No, I mean Hamilton. But
Hamilton.
Neither did Burr.
Burr
really.
died shortly later, and I thought, was it in a duel?
I don't know. I don't know that part.
I have to look that up.
Nobody knows anything about Burr.
No, nothing happened. He went back to the future.
If the duel would have happened a few years earlier, we may not have a gigantic federal government.
Yeah. Damn it. Yeah. Timing's everything.
It really is.
So, do you want to talk about the panic attack deputy or the Krispy Kremes?
Oh, wow, you're skipping stuff, huh?
Well, we could talk
You don't
about
want to talk
Trump.
about Trump?
We can, but
there's not much to say.
Go ahead, yeah.
I don't know what
He's getting picked on for calling the...
Well, first he was getting picked on for not calling.
Right.
He doesn't actually care about the military because he's not calling the families of fallen soldiers, which is not that common for presidents to do to begin with.
Yeah, they usually write a letter, but they don't.
So then the four soldiers that were killed in Niger, he decided to call their families. And so he called their families, and then this Democrat, I don't even remember her name. She wears the cowboy hat. She looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
She came out and said, well, Donald Trump's a horrible person. He said he called the wife of one of them and said he knew what he signed up for.
Yeah.
And so that's the big story.
Right.
That's being, Trump called and he was mean and insulted the...
He denies he said that.
He denies he said that. She says he said that. Sounds like his chief of staff, John Kelly, kind of told him to say something like
General
that.
Kelly.
General
he
John
came out,
Kelly.
He came out basically and explained the process of how they handle a dead soldier and everything. But then he also said that he had talked to Trump and told him that he shouldn't talk to the parents.
Yeah, don't
and
call.
Wives.
Don't call.
There's really nothing to gain. You can't help. Whatever you say isn't going to help him. But his advice was, if you do call, and he basically told a story about what his funeral officers often did was, and he related a very heartfelt personal experience because his son was killed, and he received that message was that they told him that your son was, where he wanted to be. He was an elite soldier. He was doing a job that he wanted to do. He was surrounded by his friends and
the best men on earth.
Best men on earth. And so I think, and he said he related that to Trump. So Trump probably said something along those lines, but not quite as emotionally and eloquently as the general did. So that's maybe where the statement was, and it was misinterpreted. So I don't know. He's not the goodest, best speaker.
Yeah, exactly, bigly. So thanks for a listener. It was Frederica Wilson.
Oh, she's
Frederica Wilson.
What?
She's 74 years old, from Florida.
She wears that cowboy hat.
She wears her professional photo here, cowboy hat.
Yeah.
With.
I bet it's northern Florida. They have a lot of cattle and stuff there. I bet.
Oh, it's the 24th district. If you know where that is.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm not sure where Florida is.
Let me click on it. Click the link.
North Central.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, I'm looking for a map.
Oh,
southern.
Really? Huh. There's a lot of cowboys.
I don't know.
In the north part. Well, it's like it's the U.S.'s dong, right? Florida is, so it's got to either north or south, pretty much.
This map is not helpful at all.
All right. So, are we going to move on or what? Are we going to see where the cowboys are? I'm telling you, there's a lot of cattle country in northern Florida.
I think it's southern Florida. It's right along the coast, it looks.
Yeah, maybe she grew up in the
looks like it's
north.
down there. By Fort Lauderdale, maybe?
I wouldn't see cowboy hats there necessarily, but...
Let's see. Population 745,000. Median income 38,000. 37% white, 55% black, 1% Asian, 32%
Hispanic.
Percent Hispanic, 0.07% Native American, 3% other.
It's those others you got to watch out for.
I know it is. I know.
All right. So, panic attack deputy or Krispy Kreme?
The panic attack deputy is not that great of a story for radio. So let's do it.
No.
No, we're doing it. Where was it?
No.
What was the deal?
Below Trump.
It was Sevier County?
Oh, it doesn't matter the county. The point is the guy goes on a call about a stolen purse. He's out in the country, and there's a couple of mobile homes out there. And he approaches this woman who may or may not be the suspect that supposedly stole a purse or whatever. He's telling her to don't move, to come here, don't move, come here, like they like to give contradicting orders. And she says, screw it. So she starts running through the field. He runs after her, jumps her, knocks her down. And then some EMTs, I guess, showed up. I don't know why they were there, but they were like, the cop got her handcuffed, and the EMT was like half kneeling on her and holding her down there. And she's swearing and he's cussing, and he's swearing and cussing at her. And it's not going well. And all of a sudden, he just draws his weapon and starts shooting over the paramedic's head towards the mobile homes that are in the distance about 50 yards.
Yeah.
Fired a total of 7 shots. It looked to me like he was just shooting kind of up high and randomly.
Just random, yeah.
And, he saw somebody there, and there was somebody there on the porch, and he was filming them because that was his wife or girlfriend or some relative that was on the ground. Apparently, in his mind, it was a gun. Didn't say, like, drop the gun or anything, just fired at him. And then...
He did say drop the gun one time.
After he shot, didn't he?
Yeah, after he shot, and then he said drop.
Well, he kept saying drop the gun because he knew he was being recorded. He had a body cam on.
I don't think that's why he was
but
saying it.
But all of a sudden, he just starts hyperventilating and is having a panic attack.
Yeah, and he backs way up.
He backs up, and even the paramedics that are there, they're like, this guy's losing it. And one of them actually goes up to him and talks him into giving him his gun. And he calms down, and he's calling for backup, shots fired, and all this. And of course, the other officers are racing there. And then when he calms down, the paramedic gives him the gun back.
That was silly. That was silly.
But then looks like the officer hands the paramedic some handcuffs, an extra set he had.
Yeah. And
he starts wandering off. I'm going to handcuff the guy with the gun, which he didn't have. He had no gun. And the other deputies were there and approached him and took care of it. And the worst part is they charged the couple with causing the panic attack on the office.
Well, I think it might be a justifiable charge.
Well, I don't think it'll stick.
It probably won't stick.
But they spent 43 days. That was the other thing. They spent 43 days in jail because they couldn't afford to get bailed out. But the law says they have to have a bail hearing and all that stuff within 10 days. They never had that.
Oh.
They just locked him up and left him there.
Yeah, well,
so
there's more to the story for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably time for this guy to find a different profession.
Maybe.
I don't fault him, like you said, for having the panic attack.
Right.
It happens.
It does.
But if you're prone to those sorts of things, a high-stress job where there's like guns and bullets involved, probably not the right place to be.
Yeah, you could still work as a desk job.
Yeah, for sure. You could be a receptionist or something.
Records department or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
Yep.
I don't know how big this county is.
I don't know. Go run heavy machinery for a construction company or something. This is a good one. Let's talk about this. This dude that was arrested. He was acting funny at a 7-Eleven, apparently. I saw a couple conflicting stories.
Really, I didn't see anything about him acting. He just came out of the 7-Eleven.
The one story said the cops saw him go in and out twice without purchasing anything. They were in a known drug area.
Yeah, right. That's always there.
And then I also saw that he was speeding. Anyway, they pulled him over. Whatever, he handed
female cop.
Female officer handed the license. I heard that she saw his concealed pistol license.
Right.
And then somehow found out that he had a gun, and then asked him to get out of the vehicle.
Well, yeah, he said he had a gun and it was legal. And
so I don't know if
vehicle. Well, then she said, "Can we search your car?"
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, and he said, "Well, yeah, I'm a good guy."
This is the story to prove to everybody that says I have nothing to hide. If a cop wants to search, I'll let him. I'll just comply and it'll be over quicker.
Yeah.
This is the story
It's a good
that
example.
shows why that's a terrible idea.